Guam Tourism is a competition where young women compete for the opportunity to embody Guam's culture of hospitality and goodwill while marketing our island overseas. For all intents and purposes, Miss Guam Tourism is the face of Guam and represents our island through her beauty, grace, charm, intelligence, and passion for her home. Aside from the position being a great experience, the ladies are also afforded the opportunity to engage in celebrity endorsements and charitable and civic events. Here to encourage more young ladies to try out for such an honored role is Guam's outgoing Miss Guam Tourism, the lovely Miss Risha Aguon. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's a pleasure and honor having you in studio.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your service for the past year. It's been fantastic. I've heard great comments about you. Now, everyone wants to know, what is it like to be Miss Guam Tourism?
Well, it's an amazing experience. It actually had its difficult times, but it was rewarding overall. Rewarding. I got to meet so many different people. I've got to learn so many things about myself, and most of all, I got to represent Guam and the people.
I'm glad you mentioned learning things about yourself, because what is it about the position that made you grow as a person or made you become even more mature as a person?
Well, there are so many things. When you first win, you hear like the good criticism and the bad criticism, and it teaches you to be more open-minded, you know, and just not to take things personally. And you also get to public speak all the time, so even though it still makes me kind of nervous, I think I'm better, more confident at it.
There you go. What, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the, when you would refer to good criticism and bad criticism, like what do you mean by that?
Well, some people tell you, you know, you deserved it, and then some are like, it was fixed. You know, you get all these comments, and it just hurts because you know you work so hard for it, but, you know, you can expect it being a beauty queen, and it makes you stronger as a person. It really does.
And you also had to enjoy some of the wonderful benefits that such a position comes with. What were some of those benefits, if you don't mind sharing with us?
Well, for me, the most significant benefit was actually representing Guam. It was being able to show people how proud I am to be from Guam, to be Chamorro. But other than that, I've taken 22 trips as Miss Guam Tourism. Yeah, so many, to Korea, Washington, D.C., Japan, Taiwan. I've had a free phone for a year.
There you go.
I actually got this too as Miss Guam, the Spondylus. There's quite a few things, you know, you get to experience different places.
And then meeting all sorts of people that you probably would have never had the opportunity to meet.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
I would never have been to these places if it weren't for Miss Guam Tourism giving me the opportunity.
Now, how many ladies have you heard are vying for this position right now, approximately?
So far, we only have 5 girls.
Okay.
We're hoping to pick up at least 12, like last year. Yes.
Let's hope by the end of this interview it piques some interest out there. Speaking of which, if you could recommend to the girls who are participating in the competition thus far, or those out there listening going, you know, maybe I might be able to do this, tell us a little bit about how the competition works and what you would recommend.
Well, they take you on different island tours with all the girls, so you get to know all the girls, and I've actually become really good friends with some of them. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, and then you get to know about your island, which is the most important. So I'd recommend to be knowledgeable about Guam and the culture, and then you have your preliminaries, where they break it down to 6 contestants, and then you have your actual pageant, where you do the question and answer portion, which is difficult, but...
I was just going to ask, what was the hardest part of the competition for you?
Yeah, I think it was being up there and having to answer that question in so many seconds. But it's really nerve-wracking, but I think if you stay focused and you have your mind set, this is what you want, then you'll be able to accomplish your dreams.
Those are some great tips, because I remember that night when I was there with Jason hosting, and it was just so much fun, but you guys are the ones that were under the gun, if you will, and I remember so many of you, even though you didn't hear how the other one answered to a particular question, answered it the same way. We actually were like, hey, that was the other girl's answer. But it was amazing that none of you even knew what the question was, but you all kind of answered the same way. So.
I remember walking in the back and Leslie's like, I said the same thing. I'm like, you did? Oh my God. And then we heard Tina and we were just laughing.
Now, what has been, you did mention earlier, there were also some challenges during your reign. What has been the hardest part of being Miss Guam Tourism?
The hardest part, well, I think having to get ready in like 5 minutes.
Oh my.
Do your hair and makeup in 10 minutes and we gotta go.
And you've been able to do that.
Yeah, well
look
difficult.
at you. You don't need much. I mean, you're already a beauty queen without any makeup or anything. So.
Thank you.
And I did want to share with people that you're also a real person behind the beautiful makeup and the beautiful sash and crown.